York's classic rock, Q1043.
Finally, a Zoom meeting that I actually was looking forward to. Dave Grohl is with us this morning here at New York's classic rock, Q104.3. And you've got a lot going on. The Global Citizen Vax Live concert to reunite the world. You participated in that. Everyone can watch that or listen to it tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. And that must have been great, getting on the stage in that stadium in LA.
Yeah, I missed the attention so much. It was really it was really something else. No, but I mean, the beauty of that experience was seeing people come together again and experience music, which is in the last year and a half. I've had people just come up to me on the street or come up to me in the grocery store and say, Dave, when is live music coming back? And I would always say, well, it's not necessarily up to me. But in the last year and a half, I've noticed that people probably, they're craving live music more than they ever have. And so it doesn't matter if it's new kids on the block, like they're going to run to a concert to see it when things open up, because it's what human beings do. I mean, I think that human beings need to feel that tangible, communal experience, because it makes you feel not alone. And music, when you see a human being on stage and you're a human being in the front row, it's reassuring, because you realize like, oh, this is a big part of why we're alive, why we're lucky to be alive.
Outside of tomorrow, are there plans for Foo Fighters already to get back together and perform?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. First of all, we like when maybe like 6 months ago, we started jamming together again. And we were in our little bubble, go down to the studio every day. We would hang out and just like have lunch and coffee for a couple hours. Then we'd put on the instruments and play. It's the best feeling in the world. I mean, they're like my family. So I basically tell my manager, I'm like, I don't care if it's like a pickle festival in Salem, Oregon. Let's go. Like, just like send me the ticket and I will be there. It's just a matter of, all of these different territories and when they're ready to go.
And Sunday is Mother's Day, and people are talking about the show with you and your mom and other rock star moms, and you're on the road with mom. And that sounds really, really exciting and so wonderful to know that you had such a supportive environment growing up.
Oh my God. Well, first of all, both of my parents were musicians. So it's like somewhere in my DNA zipper that I was bound to do what I do. But my mother was a public school teacher for 35 years. She raised my sister and I on her own and was the most like hardworking, altruistic, amazing woman. She would take me to jazz clubs on Sundays, and then she would come see my punk rock band when I was a kid. And she never told me what to listen to or what not to listen to. She's just very cool. So when she retired from being a public school teacher, I was like, man, don't do that cruise ship thing with the retirees. I was like, I got a cruise ship. Like, jump on the tour bus, let's go. And I took her to Australia and I took her to Japan and all over the world. And she was like, where are all the other moms? Like, what the heck? So she's hunted them down and she wrote a book about them. And we made this documentary series because I happen to think that the relationship between a mother and an artist is the most influential relationship in any artist's life, because that is the foundation of your understanding of love. And love is every artist's greatest muse. So when you see these artists and their mothers together, you then understand the creative output of each artist. You're like, oh, that's what that lyric means, or oh, that's why they did that. It's really inspiring and it's beautiful. It's a total tearjerker.
And Dave, your fellow drummer, John Densmore, in his latest book, he has a chapter about his mom. And then, of course, there's your documentary available with the Coda Collection, Amazon Prime, What Drives Us.
Yeah, that one I've been working on for a while. Well, I finished that one pre-pandemic, and I interviewed Edge from U2 and Flea from Chili Peppers and Slash and Duff from Guns N' Roses and Steven Tyler about their early experiences touring in a van. And what I found was that we all have, no matter what type of music or what era, we all have these parallels, shared experiences that begin as a child that falls in love with music and throws her life away, puts everything behind just to jump in a stinky old van and go out and play tiny, crappy little corner bars with no guarantee that it'll ever pay off. It's just the experience of doing it. And if
Chad Smith, another drummer, Chad Smith told us earlier in the week that one of his early bands got fired from a job once because they didn't know how to do the foxtrot.
See, you got to put in the time, man. 10,000 hours. You got to pay your dues.
Well, you follow around some young performers in this documentary, some performers that the world hasn't met yet.
Yes, there's a band called Starcrawler. There's a band called Radkey. But I mean, when you hear Radkey talking about touring in a van, and then it cuts straight to Ringo Starr talking about touring in the van with the Beatles, and they're having the same experience 60 years apart, you're like, oh my God, like this is more than just like anecdotal logistics of how to stuff all of your gear in the back of an old Chevy van. It's like, it's why you do it. It's what drives you to do it. And they're totally connected in that.
Okay, so Dave, how can people access this documentary?
Well, it's on Coda, which is a new Amazon Prime thing. And you have to understand, I'm the analog guy, so don't ask me. I still have a hard time like dialing my iPhone.
Something you have in common. Dave Grohl, one other question. Who is still on your collaboration list you have not yet collaborated with?
I don't know, man. I mean, here's I swear to God, this is absolutely true. My entire life, all of these experiences have fallen into my lap. So I've been failing upwards for like 30 years now. So who knows? I mean, when I wake up in the morning and I look at my cell phone and there's a text from an English number and it says, "Hi, Dave, it's Mick. Call me back. I have an idea for a project." And I'm looking at it like, no way. There's no way that's Mick Jagger. And then I call, he's like, "Oh, Jay, how you doing, mate?" I'm just like, how did that happen? Like, I can't even believe.
Well, Dave, thank you for taking the time this morning.
Thank
and
you.
Just before I let you go, I want you to know that before I knew that we were going to be speaking with you this week, I was in a local restaurant and the bartender, Marcus, was talking about music. And he said that he believes that Dave Grohl is not only the nicest guy in rock and roll, but probably the nicest celebrity in the world.
Oh,
that's what he
Marcus
said.
I said, thank you. That's the nice thing. I'm coming in there for a free drink. Let's go.
Okay, Dave, thanks a lot.
And love to your mom for Mother's Day.
Thank you very much, Shelley. Thank you.
New York's classic rock, Q1043.